You might think your dog curls beside you every night just to stay warm, but science tells a different story. Picture this: you lie down, the house is quiet, and that old friend presses close against your back. It feels ordinary, like a habit. Yet inside your body and his, something much deeper is happening. Heartbeats, breathing, even your stress levels begin to shift. Why? What's the real cost and the real gift of sharing your bed every single night? In this video, we'll uncover the hidden science, the healing comfort, and one silent risk most people never see coming. Stay with me, because what happens between you and your dog each night is far more powerful than you've ever imagined. So let's begin, where every night begins at the edge of the bed, where habit meets instinct and a silent ritual unfolds. Number 1. The silent ritual of nightly sleep. Every night has a rhythm. For some, it's the hum of a television fading into static. For others, it's the creak of an empty house settling into silence. But for men like you and men like me, the night truly begins when a dog climbs onto the bed and claims his place. Always the same spot, always the same sigh, as if he's rehearsed this ritual for a lifetime. You might think it's nothing more than routine, but it's older than habit. It's instinct written into his bones. Imagine the way wolves once huddled together under a sky without fire, leaning on each other, not just for warmth, but for survival. When your dog presses against you, he is echoing that ancient memory. He's saying, "You are my pack. You are the one I trust to guard my sleep." And in that moment, the room changes. What was just a bed becomes a fortress. What was just rest becomes communion. Researchers at Canisius College in Buffalo discovered that nearly 70% of dog owners share their bed or bedroom with their dogs. At first glance, it looks like simple comfort. But here's the twist. It's not only about you finding peace, it's about your dog anchoring his world to yours night after night until his heartbeat and yours move in quiet agreement. You don't even notice it happening, but your body does. And yet, here's where curiosity pulls us deeper. If something so simple, so tender can bind you and your dog in this invisible way, what else is happening while you sleep? Is it only comfort? Or is there something more, something shaping your mind, your emotions, your very health? Stay with me, because the answer may surprise you. And before long, you'll see that this ritual you thought was harmless routine carries a secret weight, one that most people never realize until it's already part of their nights. So let's keep going, because what feels like love and habit at the surface is about to open into something far more powerful: the science of heartbeats and healing. Number 2. The science of heartbeats and healing. Have you ever noticed how your breathing changes when your dog settles against you? At first, you're restless, shifting, maybe carrying the weight of the day. But then his chest rises and falls in that steady rhythm, and before you know it, you're following his lead, as if your body has given in to his silent lullaby. This isn't poetry, it's biology. Researchers have found that when dogs sleep beside their humans, their heartbeats and breathing begin to sync. It's as if the two of you become instruments in the same quiet song, keeping time together without a conductor. Think about what that means. Every sigh, every breath you take is mirrored by him. And in return, his body mirrors yours. It's not just proximity, it's proof of connection. A bond written not in words, but in pulses and breaths. For a man lying in bed after years of loss, or for a veteran carrying memories he never speaks aloud, this sinking feels like proof that he is not alone. The dog becomes more than a pet. He becomes a partner in survival, holding the night steady. Science calls it emotional co-regulation, a term clinical and cold. But what it really means is this: when you are anxious, his calm brings you down. When you are weary, his presence steadies you. It's a kind of healing without hands medicine, without pills. And if you've ever felt your dog's warmth settle you into sleep after hours of tossing, you've already lived this truth. But here's where the story grows even more intriguing. If syncing heartbeats and rhythms can bring comfort to the restless, what else might it be doing? Could it touch the deeper places, your memories, your anxiety, even the nightmares you never talk about? Stay with me, because the next chapter of this science reveals something extraordinary: how a dog at your side can quiet storms that even medication cannot reach. And to see that we need to step into the world of men who carry heavier nights than most men who have found their dogs not just as companions, but as therapy. Number 3. The comfort that calms anxiety. Some men turn to a pill bottle when the night feels too long. Others simply reach out their hand, and a dog climbs onto the bed. The difference may seem small, but for those who have lived through trauma, that difference is everything. Imagine a veteran who has carried memories from war for decades. Long after the battlefield has gone quiet, the battles inside him rage on. But then, a dog, trained or not, curls up at his side, and suddenly the fear of sleep, the fear of what dreams might come, begins to fade. Clinical studies have shown this isn't just a feeling. In veterans with PTSD, sleeping with a service dog has been linked to fewer nightmares, less fear of falling asleep, and even a reduction in nighttime panic. It's as if the dog becomes a sentinel standing guard at the edge of sleep, silently promising, "I'll be here when you wake." For men who live alone after the loss of a partner, this presence can feel like the only anchor keeping them from drifting too far into the dark. Think of it this way: your mind wired to expect danger is soothed by his calm. His heartbeat, his body heat, his unshakable rhythm all work together like a living medicine. Not the kind that dulls you, but the kind that steadies you. And in those hours when silence can feel unbearable, his quiet breathing fills the emptiness with something far more healing than words. But here's the twist, the part you may not have considered. If a dog's presence can dissolve fear and chase away nightmares, what happens when that very same presence starts shaping your sleep in ways you don't notice? Could the comfort you depend on carry an unseen cost? It's a question most men never ask, until one day they wake up groggy, restless, wondering why their nights no longer refresh them. That's the paradox we're about to uncover. Because while a dog can be the best therapy you'll ever find, his closeness may also be quietly reshaping the quality of your rest. And to understand that, we need to look at the hidden flip side of comfort, the part of the story no one likes to tell. Number 4. The flip side. When comfort costs sleep. Comfort has a way of disguising itself. It feels good. It feels safe. And because of that, we rarely stop to ask what it might be stealing from us. When your dog curls against you, you drift off easier. Yes, but science shows something else is happening beneath the surface. Researchers using sleep trackers discovered that when dogs share the bed, even the smallest twitch or shuffle can nudge you out of deep sleep. You don't remember it. You don't wake fully. But your brain does, and by morning you feel the weight of it, calling it age or stress, never suspecting the soft body at your side. Imagine it like waves on a shore. Each movement is tiny, almost invisible, but over hours they erode the coastline of your rest. The American Academy of Sleep Medicine warns that even subtle disruptions repeated night after night can add up to grogginess, memory lapses, even long-term health issues. And yet here's the catch: most people report that they sleep better with their dogs because emotionally they do. The comfort overshadows the disturbance, masking the true cost of those gentle nudges in the night. Picture a retired truck driver who has shared his bed with a loyal shepherd for 10 years. He swears he sleeps soundly, but his mornings tell another story. Sluggish, unfocused his body, fighting a deficit he can't quite name. He thinks it's just age creeping in. He doesn't realize that love itself is keeping him from the deep rest his body craves. And here's where the tension sharpens. If the very thing that heals your heart may also tire your mind, what's the way forward? Do you choose the warmth of companionship or the clarity of unbroken rest? Or is there a way to have both? That's the question most men never ask until they can't ignore the toll anymore. Stay with me, because in the next part, we'll step into that fragile balance. We'll see how to create a bed where both you and your dog can find peace without one stealing from the other. And we'll finally close the loop we opened at the start, revealing the hidden risk that every man who sleeps with his dog should know. Number 5. Creating a bed where both can rest. So here we are standing in the middle of the paradox. On one side is the comfort of having your dog pressed close, steady as a heartbeat. On the other is the risk of nights chipped away by tiny disruptions you never notice until the morning feels heavy. The question isn't whether you should let him in your bed. The question is how to do it in a way that lets both of you rest without losing what makes those nights sacred. Surveys show that nearly half of dog owners let their dogs sleep directly in the bed, while another fifth keep them close by on the floor or in their own space. Each choice carries a different balance. A dog at your feet might be enough to give you the feeling of security without stealing hours of deep sleep. A dog in the same room, but not on the mattress, might sync your rhythms without nudging you awake. And for some men, especially those with older dogs, adding a ramp or steps can make the ritual safer, turning bedtime into comfort instead of struggle. But there's more. Dogs bring their world into yours, dust, pollen, bacteria. For most, that's not a problem. In fact, studies show early exposure can strengthen the immune system, even reducing allergies in children. Yet for men with weakened health or compromised immunity, that same closeness can carry risks. What feels like healing could in certain cases turn against you. And that's the hidden danger I promised. From the start, the warmth that soothes can also expose. Still, for the majority, the benefits far outweigh the risks. Because what's happening here isn't just physical, it's emotional. Every night you share with your dog is a thread in a larger story, one of loyalty, survival, and love that outlives words. For an old man and an old dog, sleep is not just sleep. It's a pact, a promise, a reminder that neither of you faces the night alone. So the real answer isn't yes or no. It's wisdom. It's shaping the bed, shaping the routine, so that when you close your eyes, both of you step into rest, not exhaustion. And that balance, that fragile, beautiful balance, is where love becomes sustainable. Which brings us to the end of this journey, where the science fades into something deeper, and the simple act of lying down with your dog becomes the truest language of devotion. So now you see what seemed like a simple habit, letting your dog curl beside you at night, is anything but simple. It's an ancient ritual carried from the wild into your bedroom, a vow of trust whispered in the dark. It's the reason your heartbeat slows, the reason your mind eases, the reason a man who has lost so much can finally sleep again. But it is also a fragile balance, because the same comfort that heals can quietly erode the depth of your rest if you're not careful. Remember the hidden risk I promised at the beginning. It's this: love can blind you to what's happening in your own body. The grogginess you blame on age, the restless nights you think are normal, sometimes they are just your dog's shifting weight, pulling you out of dreams before they're done. Awareness is everything. Once you see it, you can choose wisely, shaping your nights, so both of you wake renewed, not depleted. And maybe that's the greater truth. Dogs don't speak our language, but every sigh, every shuffle closer, every night they refuse to leave your side, they are writing it in another tongue. You are my pack. You are my safety. You are my family. For older men and older dogs, that is not just comfort, it's survival. So tonight, when you feel that familiar weight against your back, remember what it really means. It's not just routine. It's devotion written into your very sleep. If this message touched you, if it reminded you of the bond you share with your dog, don't let it end here. Leave a comment and tell your story, because another man out there may need to hear it. And if you want more science, more truth, and more reminders of the love that sleeps right beside you, subscribe to this channel. Together, we'll keep uncovering the quiet miracles that live in the bond between man and dog.